Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is my 1985 Dodge Ram Crew Cab first gen Cummins. This is a truck that's been a project now for about 10 years. I built this truck from the ground up, and I've got other videos on that you can watch to see all the details. I will say though that this truck is my pride and joy, and this is the staple of the Decent Garage YouTube channel. The most recent project that I did on this truck was I swapped the stock automatic transmission out and put a 6-speed G56 manual transmission in the truck. If you haven't seen those videos, make sure to go check them out. It was a fun process and I am in love with the results. The G56 has been awesome to drive. The clutch is finally broken in now and we can drive it around, which you guys are seeing in this video. I've had some people ask why I swapped from the automatic to the G56. Well, the reason for that is because I have plans for this truck. Right now, this truck has about 250 horsepower. That's estimated based on what I've done to it. I have plans over the next 3 or 4 months to take this from 250 horsepower to about 550, possibly 600 horsepower with the VE injection pump on this truck. That is a number that is not reached by many VE injection pumps, but we're going to do it with this truck, and it should be a really fun process. So make sure, if you're new to the channel, subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those videos. Also, to top off that series, we're going to be doing the final video of that series at a dyno event local here in Salt Lake City, Utah. When I have those details, I will put those in the description of this video, and I will also announce that on my Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube community pages. Now, I told you guys in this video as well that I would break down the cost of doing that G56 swap because many of you had that question. Also, I need to admit that there were a couple companies that stepped up and kind of helped me out on this project. So what I'll do is I'll break down the cost for you as if you were to do the swap, and then I'd like to mention the companies that helped out and thank them for their support. So the first thing to do this swap, I had to buy the G56 transmission. I found someone locally at a truck meet up in Logan, Utah who had 2 of them for sale. We worked out a deal and I bought the pair of them for $3,000, so $1,500 a piece. Some of you noticed the second one that's been sitting in the garage, and we're going to be putting that in another truck as well. Next, I needed the clutch. I knew exactly what clutch I wanted from doing a lot of research, that Bel Air organic dual disc quiet street clutch. This one I got from the Hungry Diesel. This costs about $1,200. That's without the hydraulics. I ordered the hydraulics separately. And then the hydraulics I got from Diesel Auto Power, which cost me about $275. Next, I had to look for a second gen adapter plate. Luckily, I found this on Facebook Marketplace local to me. A guy was selling the 2nd gen adapter plate with the 2nd gen starter. The pair I bought for 180 bucks. They were dirty, but they were in great shape, so I cleaned them up, painted them, and they've been great. Now, I mentioned I bought the hydraulics. Another important piece that I had to buy was the mount for the master cylinder. I bought that from Charlie Pitcher at New Era Performance, and that was $75. I also bought a new PTO cover so that I could run my transmission temperature sensor. I got that from TDS, and that as well was about $75. Pedals were pretty hard to find, and I knew that going into this project. I put the word out on my Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, trying to find a decent price set of pedals, but no one really had any. Then I called a couple junkyards that were a few hours away from me, and they were able to pull one from one of their trucks for 50 bucks. So I got the pedals for 50 bucks, cleaned them up, painted them, and then I mentioned that I got the new pedal pads from Vans Auto for 20 bucks for the pair. So 70 bucks to have nice looking pedals, and they turned out great. Because I used my automatic transmission transfer case, it had a 23 spline input shaft. The output shaft on most manual transmissions for Dodges are 29 splines. So I had to buy that 23 to 29 spline adapter from Torque King. That was 250 bucks, so kind of expensive, but it was worth it to use the transfer case that I knew was in good condition. When I bought the transmissions, they only had the shifter stub. They didn't have a shifter. Luckily, on some local classified ads, I found a guy selling a shifter with all the boots and the shifter stub for a G56 for 70 bucks. So it was a steal. So I have an extra shift tower, and I use the shift boots, I use the shifter and the shift knob. And they were in great condition, so I'm really happy I scored that for 70 bucks. I had to buy a lot of miscellaneous stuff. I had to buy the metal to build the transmission mount. I had to buy new transmission mount bushings. I had to buy hardware for that. I had to buy seals for the NP205. Had to buy a plug for the reverse switch for the G56. All that added up pretty quickly to about 150 bucks. Two things that I have not showed you guys that I have ordered but have not come in yet. One is the Stronghold shift boots for the transmission and for the transfer case. I ordered custom boots. They're fully insulated, they're leather, they're gonna be great. So watch out for those in future videos to see how they look. I think they're gonna be awesome. Another thing, you guys noticed that I didn't hook up the transfer case shifter. Charlie Pitcher at Metal by Charlie with New Era Performance makes a bracket to mount the transfer case shifter to the G56. So I'm waiting on him for that to come in. I don't know the cost on that yet, but I don't imagine it will be more than 70 bucks or so. So once I get that, I can mount the transfer case shifter and the front drive line up, and that will all be buttoned up. The last thing I had to buy was the fluid. I used Hot Shot Secrets fluid, and I got 2 gallons of G56 fluid and 2 quarts of gear oil for the transfer case. That was about 150 bucks. Now, all said and done, if you add up all that, it comes out to close to $4,200. So it can be quite expensive, but honestly, you can't beat that for a transmission that's probably going to hold up to these high horsepower numbers that I'm going to push with this first gen. To build an automatic to hold those numbers, you'd be looking at spending twice that much. Now this also leads me into talking about a few companies that stepped up. The first one is the Hungry Diesel. Eric Gilbert at the Hungry Diesel actually sponsored the whole clutch for the project, so that helped out a ton. The next company is Hot Shot Secrets. I reached out to Hot Shot Secrets about this project. They were excited about it. They actually made me an influencer account. I don't know exactly what that entails, but one, it got me all the fluids for free for this truck, so that was great. And two, it actually got me a discount code to give to you guys, Decent Garage, and you can get 10% off all your purchases with Hot Shot Secrets fluid. Also, Diesel Auto Power helped out with this project. They didn't sponsor specifically a part for free, but they did give me some parts at cost, namely the hydraulics. So that cost me a little bit less than it may cost you, but that was super helpful of them as well. So I hope that cost breakdown helps out. I am loving this transmission setup. I'm so glad I did it. So thank you for the support. This project has been very fun. Remember, we're gonna be adding power to this truck here in the next couple months. Also, I've told you guys we have a new first gen Cummins long bed 4-wheel drive crew cab that we're gonna be building with a P-pump and a 5-speed. I'll give you all the details on that project and show you everything about it in the next video. I hope you guys are excited for that because I am really excited for that. So with that, we will see you guys in the next video.